Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Beattie at the controls here, bringing you the Dinosaur News, July 20th, 2014. How are you today? I'm feeling better. I had quite a bout of whatever for about 2 or 3 months. Lost a lot of weight, but I'm still kicking. And I'm on the upswing. I feel it anyway. I know our opposition won't be pleased to hear that. Dinosaur News, brought to you today by the British People's League. We had to come up with something soon because our buddies at Candor in Britain, they're posting on yours truly's webpage, and they're getting you the day-to-day news, whereas Beattie Boy, I do, the British People's League here, we do an overview, okay? We do an overview. But I commend our friends and associates at candor.org.uk, candor.org.uk, for keeping you posted as to the news and so on. And you get the link there through my John Beattie's Facebook, which is linked on the homepage, and Candor is linked on the homepage as well. Okay, so that's that plug. Now, what are we up to here? No, we're not stalling. We're just checking the controls. I've already asked you how you are today, and I've said I'm feeling good. So let's get down to business. So last show we talked about the great John Tyndall, founder of the British National Party, and the fact that I was invited as a guest speaker to Ashford, Kent, to share the platform with John, and it was one of the greatest honors of my life. So I do have these 3 photos of the meeting clumped together. I hope you can spot Mr. Tyndall looking upwards while I'm speaking. I had a beard back then, and John is to my right shoulder as I'm speaking, and you can just catch him in the corner looking upwards. Now that, and then there's the picture with the BNP logo and where John Tyndall's speaking, and I'm looking up at him admirably. Okay, and then the audience. And as I say, when he was looking up at a helicopter up above the gymnasium in Ashford, Kent. Now we'll just see what we can do with this frame situation. Oh, we're coming in. So to the right, the damn curtains, usually the curtains don't reflect, and today they decide to reflect and mess up. There's, to the right, you can just see John Tyndall in the corner looking upwards, and then we'll shift over. I'm going to take a 1 second pause here, folks, or as I go back, the curtain's out of view. And there's the audience, quite the spiffy gymnasium, Ashford, Kent. I'm going to pull the curtains now, and let's see if that gives a clearer view. Now we'll try again. So it's awkward with the YouTube camera often to get it just focused right. I mean, we're not a film studio here, are we? So to the right of my shoulder, on the right hand photo, you see the dark suit of John, and he's looking upwards. And that's David Bruce to my right while I'm seated, while John Tyndall's speaking. Passed away, and organizer named Peacock for that region. I think he's still around. I've never met the man. And in the audience, part way towards the back, there's a very, very tall man, and that is Richard Edmonds. Now, there are photos and write-ups as to the visits to Britain in the Spearhead of 1989. So those who still have collector items of the Spearhead. Well, I guess I'll have to dig mine out and show that on the screen the next time. Now, at this stage, well, I guess we don't need to fiddle with the curtains. Well, I'm doing a lot of housekeeping yapping here today, folks. That's just the way it is. It can't be raving about the end of the world all the time. Now, while we're at the photo stages, so that was in the late 1980s with John Tyndall. Now, here's a photo from the late 1970s. And this photo, yours truly, and there's the old Minutemen flag in America, "Don't Tread on Me." And that shirt there in that photo is the same shirt that I'm wearing today as I speak to you. And of course, there's the old symbol of white America. The always looks like a telescopic sight, the Celtic cross there. Now that's in the basement of a bank, which was allowed for community meetings in Gahanna, Columbus, Ohio. So look at the marble floor. I guess it's a bank, and then the classy threads of the gentleman to the left. It was quite the middle-class gathering. And that was to protest against forced busing, forcing children of both races into each other's neighborhoods. Neither side enjoyed that. That was the beginning of the real racial trouble in the States, the revival of it anyway. And yes, I guess I'm tooting my horn. You know, there's your evidence that Beattie Boy was speaking, telling white people to wake up in America in the 70s. There I am in Britain, honored to be with the British National Party as a guest speaker. So I've been active for decades. And the bottom line, we're cornered into Dinosaur News YouTubes. Cornered? Well, turns out for the best. Don't have to worry about meeting halls. Don't have to worry about problems. Just get my research done, enough to keep these shows spicy and interesting. I've outlined the track record for yours truly. Oh, and by the way, the municipal elections coming up in Ontario, Canada, have nothing to do with the British People's League. For the election site, johnbeattie.moonfruit.com. I guess they have such a wacky name for that website set up because it's a freebie. And I suppose they think it's catchy, whatever. But it's free, so we took advantage of it. johnbeattie.moonfruit.com. And that gives you the municipal election news in Central Ontario for yours truly, because we want to keep the two separate. Okay, so I have shown some of the activities earlier in this YouTube today. So yes, it's that time again to mention the word donation. Summer months, people aren't on the internet as often. Well, you can't blame them after long, cruel winters on the planet Earth here. But we still need money to keep functioning, to pay the internet server, tokens to the webmasters, and the Bell Internet high speed. And as you've heard me say before, I can't afford it out of my pension money. That's all there is, absolute minimum. I live with all the bills, feeding yours truly, pay the mortgage, etc. Complete total on $1,400 a month. That's all I get. Okay? So, as you can see, I can just make it, but I sure don't have any extras. So those of you who can afford to do so, please consider a donation. There's a PayPal button on the British People's League homepage. Those who'd rather not go that route, just mail. That's what I recommend. Just simply mail to the box I'm going to give you in a second. Preferably cash in an envelope. Tuck it in another sheet of paper and seal it up carefully. Because the banking is a lot of hassle, especially international checks or money orders or anything of that nature. So really, it's just best for cash. And we've never had a complaint over the years. Well, we haven't had that much in donation over the years otherwise. But there are those who have made decent donations over the years, and those who can afford it And we appreciate it, don't get me wrong, and I hate asking, but, you know, British People's League has to cover itself. And we do appreciate anything considered. So the P.O. box, and if you are going to do a check, best made out to John Beattie. You can put in the memo section BPL to show your real intentions. In the memo section, just simply the initials BPL. But in the body, if you put John Beattie, it just makes the banking easier. Appreciate it again, okay? And we don't cry for donations that often, as you know. Okay, thanks for putting up with that. What else have we got for today? Well, yes, this is the first YouTube since Deutschland won the World Soccer Cup. Great triumph. Congratulations to all of our German cousins. Well done. What else have we got here? Yes, and we want to say hello to our Boer fighter patriots in South Africa, directly in South Africa. You can catch the SA Farm Watch, South African Farm Watch, SA Farm Watch. You can catch it through John Beattie's Facebook, which has a big link on the British People's League homepage, and also to a key patriot organizer for South African Boers, Claudia Bryant, who actually lives in the United Kingdom. Those are two key people in the fight for Boer survival in their South African motherland. Now, normally we don't get into the day-to-day news. We like to do an overview of concern for the British People's League, as do our associate friends, close contacts at Candor League. But sometimes the headings are so blatant, I just can't leave it up to the general news media, can I? I'm going to just make the short comment, because it's affecting Britain too, because there's demonstrations in Britain, in the motherland. Boy, I'm really slipping up here. I don't even have the light on for Sir John. Can't believe it, folks. Boy, that's disgraceful. Now you've seen my Rhodesian-like fighter trooper shorts. Wow, I usually set up the studio properly. You ever get in the housekeeping moans and groans this morning, eh? July 20th. Now back to this daily news stuff. Well, there's been demonstrations in the motherland, Britain, and massive demonstrations by Palestinians in France. And I don't get into it. I just don't get into foreign affairs. But I do have to make a simple comment that should be rather obvious. Even liberals are getting pretty shook up. I mean, the Israeli treatment, the Jewish treatment of Palestinians squeezed into a concentration camp called Gaza, is that any different than Auschwitz? It's the same parallel. People squeezed into concentration camp, being tortured, slaughtered like lambs. I don't want to get into it. I'll leave that up to others, but those headlines are pathetic. And people can have Jewish friends, but that doesn't mean that they like what's going on in Gaza. It's pathetic. I don't mind pausing a bit in between points because I like you to absorb the points that we're trying to make here. So there's nothing startling for the British People's League today that can be announced here on Dinosaur News. When you're telling friends to catch this show, I believe the simplest way is just tell them to Google Dinosaur News Beattie or Dinosaur News John Beattie. and that gets them in the quickest for past editions, etc. The British front itself, it's the same old, same old. Who's kidding who? We can talk about the news all we like, but if people aren't organizing into political cells, yes, there's that word again. Those who have organized into political cells are proud when they hear the name political cells. Shoulders back, chin up. No, they're doing something realistic and practical in a legal way, getting organized, getting together, rather than the word organized. Remember, I've said several times the word organized. Oh, organized. Oh, just keep it at get-togethers. Secret, confidential. Why secret? Because the state always puts in agent provocateurs to get people to try and think about breaking a law or whatever when people had no such intention. And we don't have the money to combat the state when they send in agent provocateurs. So keep it legal. It's quite legal to be secretive and confidential. And again, if the money wasn't used by the state in nefarious activities against protesters, against those who speak up for British peoples wherever we are, then we wouldn't need secrecy, would we? But the only way, and often, to preserve your job, because they make you look like a terrorist if you even speak up for white people in the lunchroom, for God's sake. So we've all been through that, and we all know friends who have. But this political cell business, that's the way to go. Every time 3 or 4 you get together, you're a political cell. Just pour that glass of beer and clink on it. Beattie says we're now a political cell. That's right, you are. And as your political cell grows, and we exchange emails back and forth, and we get to know you after personal attendance by yours truly to one of the cell meetings, which we have done in the recent past. I hate to push for donations at the cell meetings, okay? I just don't do it. I save that for the screen here. Because you might be wondering, well, why can't the cell meetings? No, let them finance their own activities, legal activities, getting posters ready and so on for the big day when we have enough political cells that we get together for a large march in Ottawa that cannot be diverted in advance by agent provocateurs. Keep it all positive. So please don't leave the political cells into having to donate. Okay, I've covered that topic. I just want to say how thrilled we are with our blind copy list. Through a lot of publicity to the municipal stuff, there was some adverse publicity. We turned it around into a positive with our whitewash video. And I do thank all of you on the blind list who have tried to help in one way or another and who have helped. Kept an eye on the news media, sent us the right links. And that's just fantastic. And the beauty of the blind list, people don't know who else is on that blind list. It's not super huge. It's people who have proved themselves loyal with the concept of the British People's League, of those of British stock sticking together around the globe, working together, along with our European cousins when there's a match situation that we can work together. Well, it's been a light discussion today. We'll be at you when necessary. I'll be watching for your donations. Keep your chin up. Keep a stiff upper lip. We're going to win this thing. Thanks for tuning in. Dinosaur News, signing off. God bless each and every one of you. Bye for now.